I think we're on. Can't hear you. Mute button.
Gotta love when the system won't let you unmute. It's Oldy here. Welcome to the stretch run. It's Chris and I for the first hour. Then we have Justin for the second hour, and then it appears like it will be the Oldie solo experience for the final hour of the show. But we have a little more limited in terms of live racing today because of all the cancellations because of the weather. It's like almost 100 degrees with 100% humidity here. I know that Woodbine canceled for the second straight day. Colonial canceled for the second straight day. Or no, Colonial ran yesterday, but canceled today. Laurel canceled. Pretty much anything not on the easternmost part of the East Coast canceled today, and the west part of the West Coast. So, Ellis is canceled as well. So really limited our options. So we're going to be covering today Gulfstream as we always do, and we'll have live video on that. We'll have Saratoga, which we will not have live video, but runs pretty much throughout the entire show today. Saratoga running all the way to, I think past the end of the show. Today, I believe there's 11 races today at Saratoga. We'll talk some Del Mar. We'll talk some Del Mar tomorrow as well. There's two. You have the Bing Crosby, which, Chris knows I'm super excited about. 12 sprinters and a great field and a grade 1. And then you also have the San Diego, which is a pretty full field. And, I'll talk about that with both Chris and Justin. We'll also be talking about the Jim Dandy a little bit with Justin. So lots of stuff going on. Chris, welcome.
Hey, Oldy, what's going on? Speaking of the Jim Dandy, I read something today that Pletcher is like 1 for 23, putting blinkers on the first time, and Forte is getting blinkers tomorrow.
Interesting. So that will help heal whatever the foot problem Forte has is. Actually, probably the best healing experience, at least in terms of winning, is how weak that field is.
It's 4 horses, and it's going to rain tomorrow, too.
5 that they added last minute. Saudi Prince or something like that is the name of the horse. Let's see if I can bring that up here, and we'll just Saudi Crown, maybe, I think is the name of the horse, actually, not Saudi Prince. Let's see, did I click on the right race? That's always the first. Yeah, Saudi Crown is your 5th horse. Late entry. Yep. Looks like Lone Speed. Brad Cox. Surprisingly not owned by the Saudi Crown.
I was going to ask if that was part of the public investment fund.
Does not look like it. It looks like it. F Stables. FMQ Stables. I do not know who that is, but.
What's the wet GSR on that look like?
I hope it's better than the regular GSR. It looks like it might 75, so massive wet GSR angle too. And we love our wet GSR angles here, especially first time.
Well, it's 58 and it gets to 75 when it goes to the wet?
Yep.
Wow.
But Hit Show's also a candy ride.
Mm-hmm.
And looks like it goes down to 81. And you and I used to have this system. What was it, about 5 points or more was sounded the alarm bells, so to speak.
Yeah, and also when you get a good spread between one versus the rest of the field.
Angel Vampire too. I mean, there are some good wet GSRs in here as well. So that this is going to be a fun race. Before I lose focus, though, Chris, let's just, since the folks at Gulfstream are nice enough to let us have their live racing, let's let's cover their late pick 5 here. It's a short program today, only 8 races at Gulfstream. Of those 8 races, 7 are on the synthetic, which should be a good thing for the system because the system does very well on synthetic. So here's what I have. So 3-1, 1-3, top E picks, top win percentages. They're just reversed. I also used the 4 horse, who's the long shot in the first leg. Has been with Sierra for a little while, has been at this level, but I think this horse could improve and is the long shot here. So, I'm at least taking a shot here. And then the 6 horse, who's lightly raced and I believe there's another Saffy horse here. Yeah. So the 1's a Saffy horse and the 6 by Motown, also a Saffy horse. And dropping from maiden special weight, gets a slight bump in GSR moving to the synthetic. I thought this horse was a little interesting and had some value to it.
Yeah, I can see your point there. You're saying 7 out of the 8 were on synthetic today?
Yes.
Didn't they put that in as an alternate? Now it's the primary, I guess.
But there is no grass right now.
That's true.
While they're rebuilding the course, and maybe the dirt course needs some care or rest or whatever the case might be. You don't want let's call it a Laurel situation there.
Yeah, true.
And then I've mentioned this the last couple of weeks, but actually this doesn't fit the angle, but here I like the 4 and the 8. The 4 has been racing against better, is going to, even though it is at this level, is going to drop in here, has shown in the past it can rate. And then the 8 hit both the E top pick, it's the top SOR, and the top GSR. And this 1 to me looks like a horse that's going to stop.
Sure looks like it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe this time it won't, but it sure looks like it stops. So I just ignored that horse here and took 2 horses that I think can rate here and will not get suckered in by the pace. If I were to add here, the horses I'd be interested in would be the 7. This is a slight step up for the 7 here in terms of SOR. But, I also think the 7's going to be positioned a little further back than the 8 and the 4, and I just don't think there's the pace to pull that horse around. But, that would be the other horse I'm interested in.
All right.
Third leg. So I am just straight. So this is the 7-4 for the top 2 pick angle. I could have gone with just these 2 horses here. That's 68% on synthetic after another week here. But I did think there was some value on this 1, who's the long shot. Dropping from maiden special weight, first time sprinting on the synthetic, gets a 6-point jump in GSR. So that I went all E picks there. And also is the 3rd win percentage. And then, this leg, I'm just 4, 6, 7. I think there's a lot of speed here. I think if this is a speed of the speed angle, I think the 6 will win on the speed of the speed angle. But if there isn't, I think the 4 and the 7, 4 can rate a little bit. And the 7's the most likely to benefit from that. But I think the 7, I don't trust Sano in the spot. I almost singled there, but I don't trust Sano in that spot. If it was another trainer, maybe I would, even with Zayas there. And this is another situation. This is top win percentage, top SOR, and top GSR on the 7. And then, I'm trying to squeeze this in here and keep an eye on the track, but the last leg there was a Captain Obvious single here who scratched out. The one horse was like 68%. I did not love the one horse to begin with, but I think that it's really between these four horses, the 5-3, 6-8, 6-8 being the top picks, but they're not in the top 2 win percentage. And the top 2 win percentages aren't in the top pick. What's interesting is the 5 here is your E long shot and your top win percentage, and has a 9-5 E morning line angle.
Yeah, that horse should take some money too.
Yeah, and that's what I expect. That the other thing is you have a nice E morning line angle, because this one was sucking up so much of the win percentage and the morning line. You have angles, morning line angles on all these horses except for the 7. But yeah, and I shared this out to the WhatsApp group as well. We're a while away from where Saratoga will be to their late pick 5, but I wanted to make sure that we covered the late pick 5 for our folks, our friends at Gulfstream, since they're nice enough to let us have their live action. And I'm sure, Chris, you're going to have some ideas on some doubles and some pick 3s here, I hope.
Not really at Gulfstream, probably more at Saratoga.
All right, well, I'm just thinking as I'm going to add this in here, that we're going to see a larger pool today. And I already heard something from the broadcast that they're seeing a larger pool today than they normally do for this part of the meet, just because of all the cancellations.
For where?
At Gulfstream versus
Well, I better get there quick. It's at 44,000.
Yeah, that's probably pretty decent for the Palm meet.
All right, who do we got in the chat? Hello, Leo from Hialeah. Nate, good to see you. Joe.
The horses are at
Ashley,
the gate. It's
Chuck.
now post time. Lining up and moving in for race number 4, the starting leg of today's late pick 5. The favorite at 6-5 is number 3, Organist. Miguel Vasquez for Jose D'Angelo. Cool Memory is the second choice here at 5-2. Safi Joseph Jr.
Chuck had that 3 at the first 3 days ago at
highest up.
Saratoga.
These two dominate the betting as they move in line for race number 4. Vanishing Interest is going forward. Jose Morelos for Ruben Sierra. Now, Immense Faith.
When I think of Ruben Sierra, I think of the switch hitting outfielder, I believe he was.
Yep.
Power hitting.
Yeah, he could hit the ball.
The last horse to load is Riverboat Richie. They're at the post. And they're off. In the center, Immense Faith was quick off the blocks, taken on early by Cool Memory from the inside. On the far outside, Riverboat Richie is on the go. Organist, the favorite, is in the red colors in the 2-path behind the embattled trio. 3 wide in Classic Motown with Belly of Jelly toward the rail. The early trailer is Vanishing Interest. In the run around the first turn, it's the long shot, Riverboat Richie, who clears inside traffic to lead by 2. Racing in second is Cool Memory. Immense Faith had a sharp break, but he's now back to third, while 3 wide ahead of Classic Motown. He's racing outside of Belly of Jelly. Organist is a bit headstrong. He's racing about 4 lengths off the lead while guided between horses. Now he's on the far outside. The trailer is a Vanishing Interest. They slow the pace down mid-race after completing a quarter in 24-1. It's Riverboat Richie on top by a length. Immense Faith is second. Cool Memory is now racing in third. Way out in the center is Organist. Classic Motown just ahead of him. Out the back are Belly of Jelly and Vanishing Interest. That's the 7 of them through an opening half mile that went in 48-2. And the leader is still Riverboat Richie, but now moving is Immense Faith. Out 3 wide, Classic Motown. Organist let go 4 wide for a run. Dropping back now after a brief bid was Cool Memory as they rim to the top of the stretch. Immense Faith trying to hold off Two on the outside. Organist widest of all. In between Classic Motown. Vanishing Interest and Belly of Jelly Hunt Racing Room as they're at the top of the stretch. Immense Faith shaken up for the drive and still in front. Classic Motown, Organist, they're both trying hard. Classic Motown begins to gain a bit of ground. Immense Faith digging in. Classic Motown pressing past. Final 16th of a mile, and Classic Motown has it won. Classic Motown and Edwin Gonzalez by almost 2 in the end. Immense Faith was second. Organist held on to third over Belly of Jelly. Then Vanishing Interest to complete your high five in 144-1.
Your high five.
Nice start.
Definitely. And I mentioned that was also that was the second Safi. It's the other Safi that always gets you.
Yeah. All right, we got 1 minute to Saratoga. Race 3.
Anything you like here? I have my Excel chart here in race 3 at Saratoga. I will tell you the 1 charts very well. The 7 also charts pretty decently.
I would tend to go with the 7, although I would probably give a little look to the 2 and the 3 as well. But I mean, you got the 2 Chads you got to deal with on the turf.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting though is neither Pratt nor Irad are riding there for a Chad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, everything Jose rides is dangerous these days. But let's bring up the
7 is definitely going to try and steal it.
Yeah, and I think this Ward horse could show more speed. Been braking slowly.
Yeah, it gets the world's famous breaker Rosario on it.
Breaker 1-9er.
Yeah.
If I guess you have to pay attention to the fact that Saya's they're 22%, but this is a 47 GSR. Doesn't look like it'll get the lead. The question is, does anybody go with the 7?
Yeah,
you gotta double something you like out of this race into the next.
Not really. Most of my Saratoga stuff is later on. Same with Del Mar. And Del Mar is great because if you're on the East Coast, I mean, it starts at 7 o'clock. It's perfect.
And we're often, of course, the 7 did not get the lead. The 5 is on the lead. The 7 is in second. And the 1 sitting a great pocket trip right behind those 2.
Mm-hmm. 2's a little
plain. The plain 1, not the 1A, by the way. The 1A is at the back of the pack, probably exactly where they want to be, though. Yeah, 2's in a great position here too.
It was pretty rank going into the backstretch.
So did you notice on Spires that they changed their video feed?
I don't know. I don't have a Spires account anymore.
Okay, I wasn't sure what you were using for your rebates these days.
TVG.
All right. Well, it looks like if the 6 will go by somebody, and it will not. I think the 9's going to end up your winner here, 9-1.
Today's the day for no favorites there.
Yeah. I can say that I did not spend any money in the early section there. I'm going to blow this up a little more. There we go. But, looking at the 9, third time starter, second time Bruce Brown. Great ride by Katie there.
Mm-hmm.
And the other Chads look like they just hung a little bit. And that 6, you might want to put a note on the 6 that it won't pass anybody, because it had every opportunity to go by.
A rare claim off of Wesley. 3% horse. GSR stayed the same. Nothing really exciting on the works on that one either. But when you get these bigger fields on the grass, man, the trip becomes a lot of it.
Well, and really only the 1 and the 2, if you look at the GSR, seem to actually want turf to begin with, or be bred for turf. So it kind of throws the rest of this up into into the air. Any one of these horses were about in the same range other than those two.
Nate also mentions that Pratt is currently serving a suspension. So,
well, and I'm sure IRAD will be soon, because they're going to have to back up that. And it looks like, by the way, that Andy Serling and I agree that was a terrible DQ yesterday, and it will probably be the only time in my life I agree with something with Andy Serling. It makes me think I have it wrong.
Ashley Gordon here had it right. The Texas Rangers and the Yankees. That's who Ruben Sierra played for.
Yeah.
And Katie dropped the crop. Good catch, John.
But did she throw it over the rail like she was at the NHC? Very nice. All right, so we have 2 minutes to Monmouth, which we're going to use as our third track because it's literally the only thing running. Monmouth race 2, it looks like. Or do you want to talk a little bit about your class you're running this evening?
Let's do that at the end, but this one's a decent race here. I looked at this one earlier, and I like the Dan Ward horse. I mean, it's only 7%, and it's coming off of, it broke its maiden back in December at Oaklawn. And that's one of the shippers in there that Jerry got rid of and gave Dan. I kind of like that one a bit. Got decent works. And the other one was the 6 with Paco.
Yeah.
That's the second choice. It's bouncing back and forth as the favorite with the 4 and the 2.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if they wanted to name this horse Delmar Summer, and that name was already taken.
Could be.
Because it's Belmar Summer.
Isn't there a famous bowler with the name Belmar?
I'm not sure. Pete Ward comes to mind as the only bowler I know. Well, actually, I know two actual professional bowlers, one who I worked with and one who I grew up with. But other than that.
When I was a kid, everybody bowled with one hand. Now it seems like they all use 2.
Not Pete Ward, Pete Weber.
Pete Weber. Yeah, we all know Pete Weber. I'm the man.
I believe that's who Big Ernie McCracken from Kingpin was styled after.
Huh.
The Bill Murray character. Finally, Big Ern's above the law.
All right, let's flip over to the video that I can watch that we can't show.
Yep. And write your tracks, write your Congress people, whatever it takes to get them to let us put their tracks up on the screen as well. Demand of your customers probably carries more weight, and I'm not really encouraging you to do that, but it would be nice if we could show some of this stuff too, especially, help drive some handle to Monmouth's way here for covering this.
Johnny Yu says that Belmar is a town on the Jersey Shore. So there's your answer.
Owner of the 4 Belmar Summer, Roger Serling from Mad Men. Mike Wiz with that one, nice. Mike Wazowski. So, this is interesting too. I know Wayne Potts, 22% off his suspension. Wasn't he suspended for a year?
I don't think he was suspended for a year, but he had some suspension.
It was Wesley at least Ward, 9 months.
coming off his suspension, has not been on fire.
No.
So I'm going to make a little win place bet here on the 1 and then do 2 exactas, 6-1 and 3-1.
Makes sense.
Just in case the Scotty Longshot wants to beat me.
Yeah, and or at 27-1 if it wants to find its way in the second.
Yeah, either way.
So let's look. I'm just haven't had
EquinEdge. Is that Scotty commenting? He says
I
gives the 7
believe
a
it
look
is
here.
because if it was Justin, he'd probably be in here. So let's go with
Yep,
that's Scotty. Yep.
He's going to Gulfstream soon. Means he's back in Florida, where the weather is a nice, cool 72 degrees and no humidity.
Which is ironic because the rest of the country is 1,000 degrees.
Oh wait,
Scotty, welcome. Glad to have you on the show. We're one leg into the Gulfstream pick or late pick 5. We had a nice hit there. No, the horse is there, so he's got a horse running.
Oh, that's right. He's going to Del Mar for the tournament. That makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense. Good luck, Scotty.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be rooting for you and keeping one eye on the scoreboard there.
Yeah. That's the one that's on site only, I believe.
Yeah. Is that the Surf and Turf Showdown or something like that?
Surf and Turf. Yeah, something like that. All right.
Surf 2 Turf, probably.
With this 7 at Monmouth.
Your 6 broke extremely well. Your 1 broke better, rushed up a little bit. They should just end the race now. It's 1-6-7.
I got the 7 at the last second. Hello, Tony.
I do unfortunately think this is, as I'm watching this, that this is setting up really well for the 4.
Dare, you are correct. Jason Belmonte is the bowler I was talking about. I think he's the best one rolling the ball these days.
Who do you like here? The E long shot is sneaking up. Come on, E long shot.
1-3.
I think it went 6-1, or not 6-1, 6-7. But the long shot almost snuck up the rail and got second. We'll definitely have to see a photo because it definitely is angle specific. So I hope you did play that long shot just in case.
I don't have it with the 6-3. I can tell you that.
Okay. I think it went 6-7.
Yeah, Wiz. I had the 6-1 as well.
Yeah, 6-7.
Okay. No harm. No real blood there.
No foul.
All right. 9 minutes to Gulfstream. And it's 4.5 hours to Del Mar.
Yep. Late night for Del Mar tonight, but great for the show you're doing. Or not show, class.
Yeah, so we can talk about that. 8 o'clock tonight. If you go to EquinEdge.com and click on the free coaching class, I will be on at 8 o'clock doing Del Mar. We've got some of our friends on the chat here that'll be on as well. There's 11 spots open. Go ahead and do what you need to do there to get your link, and it'll be on Zoom, and we'll talk Del Mar and betting and Saratoga and Del Mar tomorrow. I think Del Mar is going to be a little bit better. Obviously, it won't be raining. So, and the stakes races are really full tomorrow, which is nice.
And if you don't know how to join a coaching class, you just go to EquinEdge.com. You click on free coaching class. And we'll click on today's date. You'll see there, but you click on whatever date you want here, and you see we're at the end of July, so you won't see next week's. And anything that has a little dot thing here is clickable. You select your time, hit next, put in your information, and then click schedule event. So very easy to do. Doesn't require an EquinEdge subscription. So please, if you're curious about the platform, you want to learn more about, Chris, you're going to be focusing on both the system and on better ticket construction and betting, correct? That's your.
Yeah, we're just going to talk about betting with the folks that are on there, what they like to do, how they like to do it, what their game plan is when they sit down to play, budgets, things like that. So there is no magic 8-ball answer for this is the correct ticket or this is not the correct ticket. But I want to hear what people have to say, and we'll go through stuff and see what we got. Can you confirm that that's 8 p.m. Eastern, Mike?
7 p.m. is my time, so yes, it's 8 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, good. That way I'm not.
Now you can see if you well, you can't see. Let me blow this up so you can see why I'm able to confirm that. See how mine is set to Central Time here? Mm-hmm. I can change the time zone so that it adjusts it for your actual time. So that's 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific. So, I do the Thursday night classes, and mine, even though I go through the system, and I've had a lot of good repeat people come back, which I take as a good sign that they enjoy my class. But mine is more of a data focus, and I talk about a lot of the data trends, and when there are signs in the data that help you eliminate horses, and when there are signs in the data that help you know where you might be able to go narrow or spread as well. So, and we talk about this all the time from a ticket construction standpoint, Chris, but anytime you can eliminate a favorite, not just off a guess, but you have actual data behind it, it makes you feel better, at least. Because the favorite only wins 33% of the time, or I think it might be 35 now across all tracks, but that still leaves you 65% of the time that the favorite's not going to win.
Yeah, it's just finding out where those opportunities are to strike and where they are to just either pass or you're going to have to accept the favorite. So we got 5 minutes to Gulfstream Park race 5. Let me look at your ticket again. Leg 2, you're the 4 and the 8 here.
Oh, that's the wrong ticket.
I believe, correct?
Yes, correct. And I did mention to Chris, I played a Rainbow Six ticket as well because there was a free spot in race 3. So I'm actually in the Rainbow Six. I'm actually 1478 here because I used that to cover the narrow leg.
So you're gonna hate the fact that I like the 6.
You're entitled to your opinion, and you may be right. I mean, there are many times I shot down the use of, it's not shot down, but disagree with the use of certain horses. I just don't, yes, this horse ran decently against 58s here, but it just doesn't look like it passes anybody to me. The only time it looks like this has happened has been, 50 is kind of the barrier for this horse to me. But we'll see. Yeah. I could be wrong. I also want to point out that you have a situation here where your second win percentage and your top E pick and the 8 is also a money bag horse,
Mm-hmm.
which may be a good thing, may be a bad thing. We'll see. But you are getting that horse is not getting bet right now with 3 minutes left to post. So it's at least interesting to see what happens there. Um, I thought the 1 is gonna stop, but on the Rainbow Six ticket, which is more of a jackpot play, um, that was the type of jackpot horse that you go after. And then I thought that the 7 was my first off. Technically won at this level, but it was against much easier SOR. So we'll
Yeah.
see whether the SOR is correct here. It is D'Angelo. So that scares me a little bit on the pick 5. But yeah, I mean the 6 being the long shot here, and I can see that the back races. I don't disagree there. And there
It's
is
got to
definitely
go though. Yeah.
there's no secretariat here, so
No.
there's not even a secretary.
No, there's not much here in this one. That's for sure. We getting close
No.
to the gate?
No, we're not. We're just getting to the track right now. If we want to take a look at them on the track, I can leave the sound off, but we can take a look at the horses here as we talk.
So, what do you think of the Trojan Vaughn tomorrow, huh?
So my feeling in that race is going to play out like a Breeders' Cup sprint. There's a ton of early speed there.
Mm-hmm.
For the Chosen Vaughn, they have to make the choice because that horse is tactical. Sometimes it goes to the lead. Sometimes it sits. It needs to sit here. There's way too much speed. And then it needs to be better than I think it's the 4 horse. Hold on, let me. But I actually saw a list of the horses that are here. You have the last 2 winners of this race. You have the horse that finished second in the 2021 Breeders' Cup Sprint. You have the Golden Sheehan winner. And you have the horse that finished second last time out to Elite Power.
And there's 12 in there, right?
Yep.
So trip's going to be important for sure.
And of course, I likely will not be around to watch it live either. As we're doing a tour of the University of Indiana with my daughter on Saturday, weather permitting. It's close enough where we can make an adjustment to our time and everything like that. But you have Old Man CZ Rocket there, Dr. Shivel, American Theorem. Just based on the pace setup, looks tough to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that unless one of those speed horses is just way faster and gets away, to me, this is projecting exactly like last year's Breeders' Cup Sprint did and the year before, where there was just so much speed.
Yeah.
From Toto Fino to basically hoist the gold.
Yeah, I haven't even checked the tide stuff for tomorrow yet to find out if it's low tide or high tide.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear that too.
High tide is going to will make speed kind of hold because they don't close real well when you get all that water under the track. But when it's low tide, man, sometimes it's just like a conveyor belt. If you're not in the first flight or 2, you're going to have way too much work to do.
And that's really going to be the decision for the Chosen Vaughn too, is where to sit.
Yeah, and you can see the low tide and high tide too in turf races. When it's low tide, you see far less turf being kicked up. When it's high tide, you can see a whole lot more turf being kicked up because there's a little bit more moisture in the bottom.
And guys, if you're going to play Del Mar, you should really be listening to Chris talking about the high tide and low tide, because it makes a massive difference there. And,
It does.
you know, I would say that, you know, unlike any other track in America that
Yeah,
I'm
I
aware
forget
of,
how.
I'm not.
Yeah, I
Go ahead.
forget how far above the water they are, but it's not very far at all.
Yeah. I mean, we did have at Fairgrounds the water seeping in from the Gulf, but, you know, I've not heard that about Fairgrounds in terms
That's
of
what
high tide
killed.
and low tide.
That's what killed their turf course. All that salt
Yep.
water.
I'm interested to see if they'll have one this year.
Your one respect for number 2, the North
All right, be
remembers.
right back.
The 8, Elusive Mischief. He's getting some action here at 4-1. Late pick 4
North
pool going
remembers.
towards $45,000. Super high 5 on its way to 10,000 as they move in. Into line, Toretto, the North remembers. Now straight shot. Here's 40 Flash, then Lunar Rocket and Eternal Flame. Eternal Flame and Elusive Mischief, the last two up. 2, 4, 7, 8, the key contenders here.
2, 4, 7, 8.
Field of 7 at 5.5 furlongs. Ready now for the late pick 4. And they're off. Off a touch slow was 40 Flash. Good start inside for Toretto. Moving up on the outside, Eternal Flame. In between horses, Lunar Rocket. Elusive Mischief is with the speed today. There must not be much speed on. Outsprinted early is Straight Shot ahead of the North Remembers, and the trailer is 40 Flash. And the run to the half-mile point. It's Toretto down inside with the lead. He leads 3 parts of length. Lunar Rocket is there second. Eternal Flame is now third. Straight Shot improving with rail position in fourth. Out 3 wide is Elusive Mischief. Then 40 Flash and the North Remembers. 22 and 3 for the opening quarter at the 5/16. Toretto with inside position and the lead. On the outside, it's Lunar Rocket still second. 4 wide, Eternal Flame. 3 wide, Straight Shot. Dropping back is Elusive Mischief, looking to rally toward the inside. The North Remembers off the turn in the stretch drive. It's Lunar Rocket who comes away with the lead. To the attack is Straight Shot down at the inside. Toretto, 40 Flash, and the North Remembers are next with an 1/8 of a mile to go. It's Lunar Rocket still the target. Up on the inside, the North Remembers from between. Straight Shot. Lunar Rocket will win it. Second is Straight Shot. Third is the North Remembers, and fourth was 40 Flash in 104 and 2.
Or you got your good break, your forward place, and your 6-1.
Ah, nice. I did bet the 6 to win, so that's good. Sorry about
So
your
it's all right. So your inclination of not playing Gulfstream, that was incorrect.
Yeah, when we switched over to the race, I looked at that. I looked at some workout reports, and the 6 looked like it was a decent play. I mean, I'm not a big fan of speed there on the synthetic, but you can make some hay on the sprints from time to time. I mean, it's not something I would do all the time. It seems like the speed does better on routes there, but we got one there. We'll take it.
All right. Well, that means that's out, but we have 5 minutes to Saratoga, race 4. Looks like there's a middle pick 5 here that I did not really look at, but I can throw together and just see what comes up.
Those middle ones are mandatory too.
All right, so let's look here.
The middle ones do not carry over.
I was interested in possibly this 2 horse, even though it's shipping in from Penn. The distance is a question as well. And I want to point something out here. Note the GSR on the 4 horse, who broke its maiden in a stakes race, but hasn't really run well since then. Noda also has been going pretty poor lately.
course, Linda's taking all the money. I did like the 7 here. Not a fan of it being bet down to 3-1 though.
In race 4, so the 7. Yeah, Linda's taking the money with Jose, as they should.
What about
And let's
Hydra?
see. So this was 6. Let me just look at what I had here. So Saratoga race 4. I had this as a spread leg. And I think these, let's see, 6. So I have the 9. If it was not for it being Linda Rice here, I would have the 9 on the drop list here. But you could do something that the 5 as well is on my drop list here.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm going to, the 5's at 8-1, the 9's at 1-1. See Jason Barkley. You know, if you wanted to play against Linda, I don't think the 3 is impossible either here. Get it on the right screen. I mean, also going to be very forwardly placed. It's a sprint. You know, the 2 at least can rate a little bit, has beaten 60s. The 2 would probably be my addition here. I don't know why I'm at 180 though. And let's see, do I have time to actually put this together?
How is it that Linda doesn't train the 3?
I don't know. And this 5 might be, again, the GSR is so bad. I just don't think it'll get the distance at this level, but it has. So let's see here. There was a horse I liked here in race 6 or 7.
By the way, I do like the 3 in the last at Saratoga, Urgent Fury, first time gelding.
It was not. It was the 3 here. So I like the 3 there as a single, but it's, of course, I must have locked this one. I had this 1 as a possible single 2 in the late pick 5.
Mm-hmm.
But for the purposes of, you know, you could play that $22.50 ticket right there. Or you could pretty much all this last leg, if I'm right about the Linda horse losing. And they are not in the gate yet, but.
Hello, Seth. Hello, Lexi. How are you? Hope everybody is well. Seth likes the 4 here at Saratoga.
And as I was saying here too, I mean, if you can beat the Linda horse here.
Which one? The 3 or the 9? There's 2 Linda horses.
No, when I'm talking Linda horses, I'm talking 3's not Linda horse here.
Yeah, it's Everybody Loves Linda.
Oh.
That's a Linda horse.
All right. I was talking the 9, who's actually the Jose Linda horse.
Yeah. That Jaime Torres is giving everybody fits in the WhatsApp chat, by the way.
And why is that? Because he's been winning?
No.
Because he's been riding poorly.
Yeah, I mean, some's been good, some's been bad, but you know, he's one of those ones that seems to beat himself a little bit. Work is killing you, huh, Lexi? I don't know, Linda. You're right. I don't.
Horse racing is killing me.
You gotta turn the sound on.
Let's see if I can get it through, because it's. I would essentially have to share this tab in order for the sound to work.
Oh, okay.
The way I have it set up, but we'll call the race. And I'm just going to get the right screen up here. There we go. And they're off. The two Lindas are in a battle for the lead. The one with the name Linda and the one trained by Linda. 2 is on slightly on the inside.
I wonder if she puts a
9
slip in for the 3.
9 has decided to try to sit, and the 4 is getting a great trip as well, it looks like.
That's the one Seth liked.
Linda 2 is past Linda 1. And Jose rode a little bit into the 3 there. And it looks like the 2 is going to take this at 7-1.
Hydra. Did I not mention Hydra?
Hail Hydra. So there's an example. Let me tell you why I dropped the actual Linda horse there. So this is Saratoga Race 4. Is your top Scotty pick. But it doesn't, and top pace there. Okay. So at Saratoga, and everybody knows I'm pretty data intensive and study the data myself and build these data models. So, using that data there, the top Scotty plus or top E pick plus top pace that doesn't match anything else is only hitting at 26% at Saratoga. And to give you an idea, when the top Scotty matches the top GSR or the top E pick, I keep doing it, top E pick matches the top SOR, or the top Scotty pick and the top win percentage match, they're all 40% or higher. So there was a significant, based on the first couple of weeks of results, there was a significantly lower win probability for the 9 there, and the fact that it didn't match any of those higher percentage or not higher percentage algorithms, but higher percentage results. So that actually, do I want to, is 26% decent in a spread leg? Yes. Do I want to take, 1-1 on a horse that is going to lose 70, what did I say, 20? Now I lost track of my 26%. So 74% of the time? Probably not, no. So that I was able to use the data there to inform that was the horse I wanted to drop. I could have dropped the 5 as well. I mentioned the 5 was the second pick, but I did not want to give up that much win probability by dropping 2 there. But the 5, just so you know, had I dropped that, which was just second Scotty, nothing else, or second E pick, and didn't match anything else, well, I should have dropped that one because it's 0% at Saratoga.
Yeah.
And this was just a case where I hadn't looked at the sheet, but I'll take 0% at Saratoga and let that beat me.
Yeah, like there was an 0 for 32 maiden that won the first race today at Gulfstream, something like that. Now go click on Hydra again. Let's take a look at that one.
Hydra.
So when you look at this, you don't really see a whole lot, right? The GSR isn't anything that you really get excited about. A few point bump. Hasn't really run well in the last few. But close the handy view. and then go sort by strength of race. So you can tell that it's really running against good competition, right? And then click on changes. That's where you can kind of see the key to how that one won there. Blinkers on, LASIK's on.
Yep.
So doing something different, chance to improve, and what went off at 7-1.
And also is getting Sayas too, which is on the changes tab. And Sayas probably is not going to pick up a ride there, even though he does not win well for Rudy typically. Maybe this is the start of a Rudy hot streak here. Just so you know, at Saratoga, the second pick, when it matches nothing else, I went to look at the sample size. Now it's over 35.
Yeah.
After today. Because I'm caught up on all my data going into today. So
let's just go back through the winners of the first 4 real quick at Saratoga, and then you can.
And we have time to. We can pretty much do what we. Now we got 10 minutes to Gulfstream Race 6. All right. So we mentioned.
So, busting away. Let's go look at him. The 3.
E long shot. 2%, but lots of bullet works.
Yep.
E long shot, first time starter. Not
a real exciting GSR. But the trick with this one, and I learned this from Chuck, is these Finger Lakes horses that come down here. They don't come down here to do anything else other than win. We had one last weekend that we really liked, and it was just a disgusting loss. I mean, he was right there. But those are things to look at, especially if you're doing multi-race wagers. Go ahead and sort the GSR there real quick.
Sorry, I had that up there and I cleared it. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, nothing exciting there. Just first-time starter, decent ride, got a decent trip. There's nothing else system-wise that's going to point you there. Those are decisions that you got to make.
You should also note that it shipped in here for a state bred. Too. So
for sure.
Typically you get more wild results in a state bred race than you do in a straight up.
Yeah, training well at Finger Lakes, comes down, gets the money. So race 2, that Scotty Longshot race there. Pace, strength of race is good, fits with everything else. I mean, this race is pretty equal when you look at those numbers.
Well, and this was the top pace and top SOR and the long shot. So, that's a decent play too. So at Saratoga, the E long shot, when it's also the top SOR, is hitting at 67%. And that was not counting this race. So when you see and it's a little more specific, my angle here, it's when the first 2 E picks match something, another algorithm. So in this case, it's the top 2 win, and the long shot is also the top SOR. That's a 67% historical win there, and even on turf, it's overall it's almost 40% when you can find that angle. So it's not just at Saratoga, it's 30% on the dirt and 28% on synthetic. So it's one of those things, and you and I have always talked about, how do we figure out when to use the E long shot? Well, we know E long shot first time starters, and then the next thing, and Justin and I have discussed this too now, is this, and I'm going to add Justin in to discuss this as well. We're talking E long shot and the data. Justin, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing well.
I saw it was back-to-back E long shots, huh?
Yep. And this one, Justin, was our SOR E long shot, where the the top 2 picks match other algorithms angle. And at Saratoga, that's going in today was hitting at 67%.
Wow.
And
Wow.
this is the only instance so far today. So that is aiming to go up today.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the 4. I like the 4 in that first race, but it didn't win. But I saw the long shot one, so that is not surprising.
Right.
We had an EE long shot at Gulfstream too, just race before.
Yeah,
And,
that's wow. That paid big time, huh? What did pick 3 pay?
Like $1,200, $1,300, I think, something like that.
all the money.
Yeah.
1,400, almost $1,500.
Well, oh, for a buck. Yeah. And that's a good pick 3 though.
Yeah. I mean, the 9 was probably the hardest horse to get to amongst those.
Mm-hmm.
But
what was it? 3%.
3%. But you look here. If these first 2 GSR horses don't win, none of these other horses are really bred for turf.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so really, is there that much of a difference between a 50 GSR and a 52? No.
Yeah.
And so Catskill Humor, who's 21% and looking for bargains, which was the coupled entry, really aren't going to be that much better than, or that much more well placed on the turf than the 9 River Tay.
And Katie gave that horse a good ride too. Had him in a good spot and had her in a good spot, and really got the jump on him at the top of the stretch, and that's super helpful as well.
And the other thing to note, and I wrote a note for myself here. This horse had the 6 horse had every opportunity to go by,
and
pretty much the entire stretch, and just didn't do it. It had tired horses it could have gone by. So that's a note horse for me. That horse just doesn't want to go by people.
Look for that horse at Finger Lake soon.
And then we just had the 2 horse Hydra win here, and I put together a quick pick 5 for everybody here, where we dropped the 4 to 5 favorite completely, because in my data it's only 14% to win on EE. In my data, it's only the only combo it hits is only 26%. So I dropped that. I should have dropped the 5 too. So this is another angle for you to be aware of. But when the E second pick doesn't match anything at Saratoga, and this is only Saratoga, it's 0 for 34.
Wow, that's pretty wild.
So, and So
once you get past
also
the
wasn't getting bat either, but that was another opportunity to drop something there and improve your ticket.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, gents, I got to roll.
All right. Don't forget about Chris's class tonight at 7 o'clock, everybody, or 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central.
8 o'clock Eastern.
And again, I walked everybody through signing up for a class, but again, just go to EquinEdge, click on join a class. Let's see if I can get
10
it back.
spots.
Oh, it's there. There we go. Free coaching class, and that'll take you to the calendar where you can do it. So, Justin, you do a class, correct?
Yeah, usually on Wednesdays.
Yeah, you're Wednesday. I'm Thursday night. Chris is Friday night. So please, we'd love to see you and be able to have a conversation with you about EE and our different handicapping styles and how you can use the system.
Yeah, you can actually talk, and you don't have to type. And we've got a pretty good Del Mar card tonight to go through live, even though we can't show it, but we can at least listen to it. Well, all right, Justin, Oldy, take it from here and find some winners. Talk to you guys later.
Sounds good. Thanks, Chris.
See ya.
So, Justin,
where are we headed?
We are headed. We got 2 minutes to Gulfstream. Everything else pretty much canceled today. If you see, I just did that on purpose and clicked on Woodbine, click on Laurel. So the only 3 tracks running right now are Toga, Gulfstream, and Monmouth. So all extreme East Coast.
Well, except for Riadoso's running, so you can never forget about quarter horses.
Yes, definitely. I did notice that a few seconds ago, but Gulfstream were out of the pick 5. Got beat by a horse there I didn't like, and that happens sometimes. But if I were playing a pick 3 here, I would play something like this, or I could even go slimmer. I like the 7 here, and that's a $6 pick 3 there.
Yeah, I was looking at this race. I mean, the 1's first time synthetic, right? GSR goes up, cuts back, maybe has some speed.
I just think there's a lot of speed. I think if the way I looked at this race is the 6 might be the speed of the speed, but I'm not certain that the 6 and the 3 don't go too fast together, especially with the 1 also right there.
Oh, you're talking about race 7. I was looking at race 6. I was like, what do you mean there's a lot of speed? I'm like, they're sprinting on the Tapeta and like nobody looks fast. This race will be interesting though. I mean, maiden sprinting on the Tapeta, like I don't know, the 1 horse is interesting as a long shot. You guys were talking about that at 9-1, but the 5's first time on the Tapeta. Like, I mean, it could improve a little bit. Sonny Leone's riding, but Zaya is probably going to try to send on the 1 Chrome Ghost.
Yeah, no, I think that horse is dangerous. I mentioned this when I talked about this leg here. I just don't know that I trust Sano, but dropping in here and first time sprinting on the synthetic with that 6-point GSR improvement. I agree with you, very dangerous, and did get bet down to about the morning line.
I don't really love the 4. I mean, it is the second EquinEdge pick though, so that I guess from that perspective, I mean, the horse is dropping some more, so it did win. It nearly won last out, so maybe Perez gets a good trip off the speed. I kind of lead to, somebody on the lead here maybe winning though, but I don't know, the 6, right? Don't answer. I mean, this horse is 0 for 10.
Yeah, I mean the next horse for me in line, it would be 7-4-1-6 if I were to add here. Because I think I'm not 6, 7-4-1-2. I think the 2's lightly raced, is dropping here. Didn't run poorly going long on synthetic. So there's no reason. As they're loading in the gate, let me get that up here. Turn the
4. I mean, the 4 is definitely interesting. I'm surprised not. Oh, it is taking a little bit of money, so we'll see here.
Yeah.
Moving in, race number 6, even money favorite is
Zaya
7, Mr. Rhodium, Edwin Gonzalez Frank, Jr.
That horse keeps taking money too.
Second choice is the 4, Chena.
Dangerous.
Sweezy goes to Edgar Perez for the riding assignment.
But the 4 might sit the trip, to be honest.
In the line, don't answer.
If the 7 gets the lead, which I doubt it's going to happen, but that could be interesting. But I don't know if the 7's going to get there. I think Zaya's going to send on the rail.
Chena. Las Olas to the outside gate.
Well, that's never a good.
That's not the part of the gate you want to be on, is it?
The horse was a little bit too ready to go and pop the gate, man.
So we have 2 out of line, Chrome Ghost and Las Olas.
He's going back.
Favorite is 7, Mr. Rhodium.
I mean, I
This-
think I like the 4 best here.
Yeah, we never like seeing a horse break through the gate. They rarely ever win like that.
Who was the second one? The 8 was the other one that did. Second time starter. Practical Joke.
Chrome Ghost being walked back into line. Las Olas to the outside.
Las
Yeah,
Olas,
looks like-
that's in Fort Lauderdale.
They're Rimigate.
Makes sense.
And they're off. Don't Answer was off a step slow.
Well,
In the
five
center,
might be
that's Mighty
dangerous in the
Miracle,
lead.
who fires to a clear
Yeah.
lead from Chaina and Mr. Rhodium, second and third. Red Dog comes away in fourth. Up on the outside, Las Olas, and knifing between them, Don't Answer. Second last early is Rigel. The early trailer is Chrome Ghost. Past the half mile and moving to the far turn, Mighty Miracle has the lead by half a length. Mr. Rhodium latched onto the leader in
6
second.
blew the
Perez
brakes,
is
so if
asking
that
Chaina
horse
to
ends up
keep up.
winning,
She's
that
now third.
much
A gap of
less,
2
too.
more to Don't Answer with Red Dog along the rail. At a bit wide on the course in Las Olas, 3 better than Rigel. The trailer is Chrome Ghost. 22 and 4 for the opening quarter as they pass the 5/16. Mr. Rhodium ready and willing to go after Mighty Miracle. Off cover Chaina, wide on the course, Don't Answer. Red Dog sliding through at the inside as they straighten for the drive. Mighty Miracle tries to hold on down the center. Mr. Rhodium right alongside. Red Dog looping off cover for a late run.
More
Down
might
the center,
get
Don't
there.
Answer. Final 16th of a mile. Mr. Rhodium being swallowed up. Here comes
Oh,
Chaina. Here
gonna be
comes
close,
Red
man.
Dog. Here comes Don't
Boys got
Answer. It's Chaina in front.
Nice.
The
There you
filly
go.
beats the boys. Chaina turned away. Don't Answer. In
Well, she
104.
was a filly, huh? Interesting.
So there was probably a weight advantage there. There was. She was carrying 114 pounds. Where the next lightest weight was 119, and the 5, who almost hung on there, was carrying 124.
Was Sonny Leone, because that
Yeah.
horse is a 4-year-old. Yeah, I mean, there's angles there. A lot of times you see the angles with an apprentice like that, but ultimately, you don't even get the apprentice. You just have a filly versus the boys. So that was cool.
Yeah. And that horse, that 6 horse, was so much the best there. It blew the brake.
No, that horse
Yeah.
don't like to win though. But yes,
No,
I get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that horse has no plans on winning. All right, so we have 10 minutes to Saratoga, 5 minutes to Monmouth.
Well, the
we
wheel
want-
pace must be gigantic, Oldie, on this pick 5.
Let's see here. So I don't have Spires there, but let me pull it up on my other computer, on the computer I use to generate the video and the sound here. It is, so the smallest, the pick 4 is massive. There's no carryover. The 8 is your largest. It's going to be about 78,000 in that range.
Wow.
Your smallest is the 7, and the 7 is going to pay about $19,000.
Wow, that's pretty wild, man. This race too. It looks like a good one, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised to see. I don't think the favorites have to win this race, man.
Let's see. So let's talk. We can maybe do a mid pick 4 here if you want to give out a mid pick 4, and I can enter your digits here. I can show you this is what we did for the mid pick 5, which I'm told is a mandatory payout. But that's what we played.
You're in it. Oh, okay. So you're 257. You singled the 3. Yeah, we can.
Yeah, I took a shot on the Chad Brown second time starter by Mendelssohn. 80 GSR. The 1 I think is also dangerous there. And possibly the 10 as well. But it seemed like the the spot for the shot. The other spot I saw there, possibly, and would maybe be my late pick 5 single, is this one horse, the former Linda Rice horse. That's also your E long shot.
Well, in the last leg, Devil's K.
Yep.
Tough sequence. Yeah, give me a minute. I'll put something together. Okay.
And I'll talk maybe about Monmouth in the meantime, since we're 3 minutes to Monmouth, and we'll maybe do a little after the Saratoga race. We'll do a little Del Mar big races this weekend.
It's been great racing there, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
We found that diamond in a rough last Friday, remember? That horse was super sneaky coming out of, I don't know, what is it, big layup? I don't even remember now, but the horse won, I know.
Yeah, no, I know, and I can't remember which horse it was, which is not a good sign for my memory overall. At Monmouth, the second pick looks like it should get the lead. The 2 horse. Go ahead and work on your.
Yeah.
But it looks like the type of horse that's likely to stop. The 1's taking a pretty decent drop. If this horse is healthy, it should win. Has a win over 60s. Is technically third off the layoff. Here for Delgado, 2-1 might be a gift here on the 1. And the 4 is 16%, so it's worth a look, but it's taking a significant move up in class, having just beaten 50s. Did win by 5 1/4, but for D'Angelo here, Romero Mara picks up the ride, and D'Angelo is pretty good off the claim. There are a bunch of other changes here. You might want to keep an eye on the long shot too. Probably should be getting bet more. Having beaten 54s, its range seems to be in the 52 to 54 range. Didn't win last time out against 50s, but still, there's not as much speed here. Might be able to sit a trip and be at 13-1 a horse to look out for, or definitely look out for underneath. So maybe a 1-2-6 exacta box here, or a 1/2/6 exacta actually.
They've had a lot of long races on the turf at Saratoga, I feel like. And I guess you just get that during the summertime, some more longer turf races.
Well, and they're doing it at, I want to say at Del Mar, either yesterday or today.
Yeah.
There's a 11 for a long race. It might have been yesterday.
How much? Oh, they're about to go, aren't they? Monmouth?
Monmouth, they're not even to the gate yet.
All right. All right. I think I might got my ticket.
All right. What's your budget here?
$90.
At Toga, $90.
Yep.
All right. So let me clear all legs. All right. Tell me what you have.
So first leg, race 5, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7.
2, 4, 5, 6, 7, no 1. Okay. Got it.
Then second leg, 1, 2, 3, 7, 9, 10.
7, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 7, 9, 10. Got it. Middle leg.
1, 2.
1, 2.
5, 5, 6, 7.
5, 6, 7,
And 10.
and 10.
Who did you use the 9 in that race on your ticket?
I did not, no. I
Okay,
single
that's your ticket. I see. Okay, and then single to 7 in the last.
to 7 in the last. Okay. So let me, no, that was just what the ticket generator gave us off the,
Oh, I got you. I'll do 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 7, 9, 10. 1, 2. Yep, that's it. Sweet.
all right, we're in the gate at Monmouth.
All right,
So
I
that's
gotta
it.
play this since I put it together.
Yeah.
How's the chat, man? Everybody's quiet. Where'd everybody go?
And they're here. And people, if you can, hit the like button for us.
How's everybody been doing at Saratoga and Del Mar? That's I'm curious. I have not played very much. I don't even, this might be the first time I've actually played Saratoga, to be honest, Oldy.
You might have played it a little last week with us.
Did I? Oh, I played a couple plays. That is true.
Yeah.
I just haven't, I just haven't played it very much.
You've been so busy with work anyways.
It's crazy, man. It's a good thing, but yeah, life's a little bit different.
Let's see if the 2 is able to continue going and doesn't stop this time.
Oh, I see my chat's just not updating. That's the problem.
Looks like the 2 is going to hold on. It's going to go 2-5.
Wiz, you've been better. Wiz has been better at Del Mar. I like playing Del Mar. It's so great. And it's awesome. It's late. You got people on the East Coast, it's even later. You have like great nighttime racing.
Not great for a 2 o'clock Eastern show, though.
that is true. Lexi, I'm glad you're here. Such a great handicapper, Lexi.
Yeah. She did a great job last week with us as well. My chat's not updating either.
I know. I don't know. I pulled it up on my phone, y'all. So that's why I keep looking to the side because.
Let me grab my phone because the last thing I have is from Wiz at 1:34.
Something's going on. Something's going wrong. They're approaching the gate though at Saratoga, Oldie.
Yep. And again, write your congressman, tell them that we need to be able to show.
All right, I got the 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Who do you have?
I have just the 2, 6, 2, 5, 7 here.
All right. With Chris, he's probably gonna have a great show. It's great. It's great to have a show on Friday. I saw Del Mar was racing yesterday, so that was good too.
Yeah, no, that I was surprised by that, but happily surprised since I do a Thursday night class.
Yeah,
and we were able to talk a couple races from
there. Well, they're out, Oldie. What's that? 5, 6, 7, all in a row. Somebody's keen to go. The 4, the 2. I don't know who that is. That's the 2.
Yeah, the 2.
7 horse probably smart there. Like decided not to mess around and duel with the 5. Four will get a good pace, Oldie. I feel like the 1 is too far back.
If that time is correct, there is no pace there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Actually, the 3 is running really well. That's kind of scary, but I hope that horse stops. I just think the 4 going to be the one to get the jump if anybody catches any of these. But those fractions are just like I don't know how the 5 going to lose, Oldie.
Well, I think that the first idea would be it's just not that good.
Well, it's losing, that's for sure. We need. You have the 5. Do you have the 2?
Yep.
Okay.
5 actually turned away the 2.
The 3 done. The 4, it's gonna. Who's coming? I can't really.
That's
Oh, that's
7 on the
7.
outside that has the lead.
I think that's gonna be our winner. I have a feeling, Oldie,
Yeah.
unless it's 5. Yeah, chalky chalk, man.
Well, they were due.
Well, that was the I guess that's the late pick 5 or the early pick 5 closes there to the favorite, but
Much the best.
Yep. Well, advance, so that's a good thing.
Yep.
All right, where we want? We're gonna go to Gulfstream.
We have some time before Gulfstream race 10 if you want to talk a little Del Mar on Saturday.
Yeah, you wanna? I know I didn't look at the pick 6, but if you wanna chat there, I'm happy to chime in. I did look. What race was that?
Well, keep in mind that the pick 6 thing is on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
The
I
big
didn't look at
races.
that, but
Yeah,
yeah.
we won't worry about that. But I was thinking we could talk both the Bing Crosby, which is up on my screen right now, which is Del Mar race 10,
Yep.
which is 12 sprinters, including you have in there the last 2 winners of this race, the Golden Sheehan winner, the runner-up in the 2021 Breeders' Cup Sprint, and a horse that was a runner-up to Elite Power last time out, plus the Chosen Vron. So it's a pretty strong field. It does seem to me like it could play out like a Breeders' Cup Sprint, where there's way too much speed early. And you see I have it sorted by pace number. Totofino, I don't think really is a threat to win, but is going to go fast and make this a fast race.
I mean, I thought this was kind of challenging, to be honest. It was a very tough race. I mean, I know how much you love the Chosen Bronze. So, like, did you actually decide to pick a different horse?
Well, all right. So I'm often the person who tells you not to get emotionally attached to horses, right? It's just like playing fantasy football. You should never get emotionally attached to players. You're almost better off if you only know the number and don't know the horse's name. But okay. So with all that being said, I think this is going to play out similar to the Breeders' Cup Sprint, where you're going to need somebody um, coming from off here. And for me, those options are Dr. Scheibel. If Dr. Scheibel decides he can rate again like he did in the Bing Crosby in 2021.
Yeah.
But
I mean, this horse is
gonna,
the top pick.
and only 3%.
I know it. I couldn't believe it, but this horse loves Del Mar, Oldie.
Right. The other question for me though on this horse is that 11 post.
Well, is that I didn't think that is all that bad sprinting at Del Mar on the dirt, or is it?
I'm not sure. I haven't had a chance to run that, but I think that might not happen very often. So I think you may sprinting on the Del Mar dirt. I don't think a lot of times you have somebody even if you have an 8 or 9 horse field, that's still a pretty large field.
Yeah.
But but I think for me, your likelies are Dr. Scheibel. I'm going to emotionally say the Chosen Vron, even though I realize this is a very tough group for here and maybe too good for the horse. And they're going to have to make the right decision. Is this horse's tactical of whether to go or not to go? too. And so Barrios, we're going to have to rely on Barrios and the trainer to make that decision. And they've made the right decision every time, over the last year or so. So they may. And then the other one, the one who I think may get the perfect setup here is American Pharoah. 100% needs the setup though.
So I just pulled the, looking at post positions and sprinting at Del Mar on the dirt. Like, you really don't want to be inside speed, to be honest. I mean, that's not a great place to be, it looks like. So you can have speed, but outside the 7 post hits better than the inside 3 post. So, horses being, more middle to out, look, based on post position stats, they're Oldy back to beginning of 2022. So I looked about a year and a half, right? Like, you definitely want to be middle or out. So Chosen Brawn's going to have a great spot to stalk off of all that speed, in my opinion, right? Like, so he can be emotionally attached, but I think he's definitely live.
And CC Rocket is here. He's old. He got dusted by Dr. Shivel a few races back, I think it was, or somewhere else. It was that May 13th race. I don't think he has the speed to compete here anymore, but he's here. He's going to be yelling at the kids not to run by the pool and all his old man stuff there, but he's here. I think, this is inside speed and a tactical horse to some extent, but Spirit of McKenna seems that this may just be this horse in this time, so to speak.
For CZ?
No, Spirit of McKenna or McKenna.
Yeah, the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit further probably to the inside than you want to be there based on your numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And I
think
think
it's okay. It's difficult, it looks like. I mean, to stalk on the inside is one of the, closing is very hard. So you got to be within 4 lengths essentially, but it could melt a little bit, right? If you get somebody who really could close, but being on the inside is trying to kind of rate stock is tough. That's where it'll be hard for Joe Bravo.
Well, and then, the other thing here with Joe Bravo, and I actually read that Bravo had a choice between the 10 and the 2 and chose the 2 horse. Now, maybe he chose wrong here, but that's something that you have to factor in. That Papa Dormo actually said that he gave Bravo a choice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the 2's lightly raced. This horse can improve. It cuts back right from 7 to 6. I mean, it's a competitor. Is it grade 1? I guess we'll find out. I mean, the win percent drops a lot, and it's not an EquinEdge pick, but it is still 16%. So, I mean, I think that horse definitely has a shot. I wouldn't pick it to win, in my opinion. Like, it can win. It wouldn't be my top pick, probably.
I just see it as possibly getting swallowed up in a pace duel here.
Yeah, I mean, it's shown
the 3 and the 5 get away.
Yeah, it's shown it can rate. I mean, but those both races were at 7, and you look at 6, that was only an allowance, but it has been improving. That's why I love EquinEdge. Won a grade 3 and a grade 2, but those are only 70s and then a 72. So this is a very tough race. He's really, really going to have to improve. Lightly raced as a 5-year-old. So this is a nice horse, though. I mean, for sure.
Yep. And, the 2's actually needs to be on the lead. 100% needs to lead. There's no rate in this horse that I can see. The 12, I mean, I said the 2, the 12. So, add that horse into the pace scenario, and it's going to have to be harder used because it's breaking from so far outside too.
Mm-hmm. Well, what about the EquinEdge long shot, Oldie? I mean, this horse is second off a short layoff. Like, you ran not at all in the Aristides, it's 78. So, this could be too tough for that horse. It has shown ability to rate. So, but it's going to be up there.
Yeah.
I mean,
that chart note bothers me that it rushed, broke fourth and then rushed up.
Dallas Stewart, Oldie. I mean, I don't really know him very well, but what happened? How is this guy hitting only at 6% now?
I don't have an answer to that. I swear a year or two ago, he was like an 18% trainer.
He wasn't single digits. I don't really know him very well, but I obviously know the name he had, I mean, it's fallen off. I mean, 6%.
Yep. No, I agree. I mean,
this is a nice horse. I mean, look at, it's been running, so, who knows what happened in the Metropolitan, but, this horse did run on the rail in large fields, right, at Keeneland and in Fairgrounds, and both graded stakes. One was a 2-turn, one was at 7. Numbers wise, Oldie, I mean, 8 furlongs is fine, right? It is dropping some though. I mean, this is a nicely bred horse, I guess. It is the long shot, no, it's not the long shot, but it has a great win percent, but I mean, it did show back in the Commonwealth at Keeneland, right, that this horse can kind of stock off the pace. It showed it could rate last out, but this horse is inconsistent, but then you have a trainer that's only 6%. Oldie, if I'm playing a horizontal, I would have to use this horse at a price like that. It's the top win percent.
I mean, it seems to like to, this one time it rated, but it seems to just kind of run to where it breaks.
I mean, Anarchist, Oldie, with Vasquez O'Neill, I mean, source comes back to, it's kind of been all over the place. I mean, they were out at Belmont for, raced up on the Tapeta at Woodbine and won that race. I mean, kudos there. Doug O'Neill's had this horse. I mean, this horse has to improve, though. I mean, it's lightly raced, and it does have all those seconds, which you never love. And then it couldn't win the 74, so it's not coming off a layoff. I'm not really a fan here. It's, I don't know. When I looked at this, I really, I think the Chosen Brawn will be tough, Oldie, to be honest. Like, and I know for you that you love
lining
this
up,
horse.
moving in, race number 7, 2-1 on drum roll, 2-1 on Vibella.
No, you're good.
Fortuna Bell is 5-2 here. No action going forward. Then Fortuna Bell and Vibella.
There's a lot of speed here, sprinting on the Tapeta.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is where I said the 6 is either the speed or the speed.
Vibella, Edgard Zayas to take the outside.
I think it's the 4 or the 7, I think, were the other two horses I liked here.
Even I think the 5 could sit the trick. I'm with you, though. Somebody could sit off the speed here.
They're off. Picture perfect start. They're across the course. Fortuna Bell looking to clear inside traffic, but Chloe's Toy has a problem with that, and these two hook up and race 2 ahead of Drum Roll, who comes away in third. After rail, it's Action Rose, and out the center, My Lady James. No Action is second last, and Zayas trumps over on Vibella, last of the 7. Fortuna Bell has the lead. To the far turn they go. Fortuna Bell on top now by 2. Chloe's Toy is second. My Lady James on the outside third. Racing in fourth and Drum Roll up to the outside. It's Action Rose with no action, and the trailer is Vibella. 22
He's
seconds
gonna
for the
set up
opening quarter
really
at the
nice for the
5/16.
4-5-7,
Fortuna Bell,
but
hard
7
used,
was
but in
way
front.
back.
To the attack, My Lady James
Horse,
dropping back is
I think
Chloe's
the
toy.
4 got the
Vibella underway while very wide.
6
Drum roll
measure.
tips off cover. They straighten for the
We'll see,
drive.
bro.
Here's My Lady James to have a crack at Fortuna Bell. Chloe's
Not gonna
toy is back
pass
for
him,
more
but
inside.
maybe.
Vibella charging down the center.
Fine.
Final 16th of
This
a
is
mile. They
bugging
haven't got
out.
by Fortuna Bell yet. On the outside, My Lady James is second, but time has run out. Fortuna Bell is in front. Second is My Lady James, Chloe's toy third, then Vibella, and no
That was
action
exactly what
in
I thought
104
could
flat.
happen if a speed horse was going to win. It was going to be that 6 horse.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so back to Del Mar. And again, thank you to the folks at the Stronach Group and Gulfstream for allowing us to show their feed.
Well, Saratoga is still a bit away. Trials at Ruidoso Oldie, but if we want to MFS Cheerio won at Ruidoso last out. I mean, going back to Del Mar Oldie, I think, I mean, I don't think you have any problem in following or being attached to a horse, Oldie, and the Chosen Brawn in this race.
But I'm just saying in general that's, I'd be the first person telling somebody to not get emotionally attached to a horse. And because that leads to using in a way maybe you shouldn't. But, here, it just depends on what you're going to do here. I think probably Defunded is your late pick 5 single here in the grade 2 San Diego rather than, and there's a lot of speed in that race too. If I can get this to refresh here. Here we go.
I love these like large fields that Del Mar has. It's just so hard, Oldie, but it's so fun.
I mean, other than the Breeders' Cup ones, even the Breeders' Cup, I think, was only 8 horses in a grade 1 sprint. Apparently the system decided to take a break here. Okay, so here we go. So it looks like Pirelli is out. So it's a 9-horse field. And, with Brickyard Ride being the top pace here. But Defunded could be your, at 8.5 furlongs, a horse that can rate, or that's tactical and can rate. Maybe your late pick 5 single, and allow you to be able to spread in that Bing Crosby grade 1 race.
Yeah, I look at races like this, Oldie, sometimes, and immediately what I always like to do is look at the pace, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, Baffert's gonna have Defunded in a kind of a great spot, right, to try to stock off these horses with all this. There's gonna be a lot of speed, right? Because the 10 sending from the outside and Rispoli's sending. I mean, that's 100% happening. And then I think at the same time, Gutierrez is going to send Slow Down Andy from the rail. So
I think both those horses, I think, have to, just from a positional standpoint, have to go.
Yeah. And so, I mean, Defunded's going to sit a perfect trip off of that speed. But I mean, I could see the single and that horse. I think this is a competitive race, though, to be honest. So, I mean,
who would your second choice be here?
Trispoli won on the Tapeta in a 64. This horse has not really won in the mid 70s. No. Third off a minor layoff. This horse will probably run an okay race. I just don't know if, coming over to Sadler back again, I think this horse is probably up against it. Royal Ship's the second EquinEdge pick, Oldie. I mean, but this horse is like highly inconsistent. I mean, it can't win 66s on the Tapeta, but GSR says toss the race, which is fine. It didn't want to race on the turf. So if you look at its races on the dirt going 2 turns, it ran in an 82 at Del Mar, but that was a 6-horse field. But it just doesn't run in a 70 or a 78.
Yeah.
So, it's Mandela, Mike Smith. I mean, is this horse looks to be working okay, I guess I would say.
Well, I will tell you this horse. So I think we're kind of blinded by that grade 2 win last year in this race, but that horse beat the only other horse of note that was in that race was Country Grammar, and this was first back from Dubai, and horses don't run well first time back from Dubai historically. It's called like the Dubai flu.
Yeah.
And so, caught even though from an SLR standpoint it was a good field, it caught an exceptionally easy field where where by far your classiest horse wasn't ready to go. And then hasn't run a lick since then.
I think this horse is it's the second pick. I mean, I want to say this horse doesn't have it. I mean, here would be my so this is a grade 2. I think so. The 4 is coming from overseas, predominantly as a turf horse. Sadler hits Barrios is just on fire. I mean, good for this guy, man. This guy's dominated lately at Del Mar, I feel like, and had a great meet last year. But this horse doesn't necessarily want the dirt. I mean, it did run. I mean, it got its first start in the US, but that is a much easier race, and it didn't win at 42%, Oldie. So I don't like seeing that. So I mean, I'm starting to just think, and then I get to the 5 and the 9, who are both 4 and 2%. So it kind of like, so I'm, immediately I just start looking at Senior Buscador because I don't necessarily love Royal Ship. I mean, the 5 one last out in a 64, but it romped. Why did it win that race? I don't really know. It finally figured something out there, and but it has a lot of seconds. The 9, I think you just kind of pass at 2%. It's nothing really to see. It's over its head. Senor Buscador, I mean, the only way this horse is going to win, Oldie, and I think you can't ignore is this is not a grade 2, and it's not a great graded stakes grade 2 race. I mean, yes, the 4 could win, maybe. Like, I mean, it's 12%.
The 4 is at least a little interesting to me.
It is, but I think the way that I visualize this a little bit, Oldie, is like, I mean, is this gonna be just kind of a crappy race and a little bit of a massive pace? And that I would say it's Senor Buscador, Oldie, because I think that this horse, it's insanely bred. Well, it's 5 for 11. It's a little bit sneaky in my mind because it's been racing in graded stakes and it's dropping out of grade 1 and grade 2s. And I don't think this is a great grade 2 race, to be honest. And I think the pace could set up for this horse.
It's possible, but look, it lost by 6 1/4 lengths to Defunded last time out.
No,
in grade 1.
Yeah, I mean, and I can't see that, so I'm glad you say that. But I think for a second pick, like I think Defunded could be a single, but I do think, like, I don't know, Baffert, as we all know, he is not the trainer he used to be, and we don't have to like dive into that at all, right? And I know we got Saratoga coming up, and you're looking at Monmouth, but I don't know. I think Senor Buscador is a little bit interesting there, Oldie, just because of the pace in that race. I mean, maybe it's 6-7, right? But that is not a great race, and like the pace could be really insanely hot, to be honest. So Scott said Baffert's scared. Hey man, I'm sure. I mean, whatever he is, he's just not the same trainer anymore.
Tony is
So
asking us to look at race 10 at Saratoga and tell us if the horse is a single. I wanted to point out another horse here. This 4 horse looks really interesting in a turf sprint here, and you're getting 9-2. Top SOR, top pace. GSR fits only 7%, but if it gets the lead here, it could be gone. We
that
don't
horse
know this
has an
horse's level
apprentice,
yet.
I think, too. Oldy, look, jump over to the jockey trainer. Either it has yeah, that horse has an apprentice, so that must be a 3-year-old. Or actually, that's probably why is that horse a 3-year-old? Because
I'm not
Arejo.
sure.
No, click on it real quick.
I'm going
on
to
the
hold
phone.
on. Jockey. Oh, and then you have a Ward horse, and people have been talking about how Ward has not been going well either right now since coming back from his suspension.
Scott said Service only got 4 years. They just sentenced him, he said, and he got 4 years.
Yeah.
I don't. They should have laid the smackdown for more than, I don't know, but
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not a lawyer, but not a judge, not a lawyer. That's a lot that went on there.
Lodi and Monmouth, the 4, the 5, both are 5-1. I'm sorry, not the 5. The 5, who is a little tactical, and coming in from Penn National, is 2-1 over the 4 and the 9.
How's the Ward horse
that.
not taking money though? That's surprising.
Well, this is a Ward horse, but even that horse isn't taking money. The horse that's taking money is this 5 horse.
What race is this, Oldie? What number?
Monmouth race 5. 4 did not get the lead either.
I was gonna say I'd be scared of the Ward horse, but
5 actually got the lead. The Ward horse.
I'm surprised, but you said maybe he hasn't been running well, but this is the perfect race for him to run well and like sit off the speed here, but maybe that horse needs the lead, Oldie. It's not gaining on the 5. Oh, the 5 is the favorite. Yeah, the 5 gonna win, man. Nobody catching this horse.
Well, let's see what happens now.
He gone, man. Look at the rails way out too, Oldie. 9 gonna probably get second, but that rail's way out. I mean, that
might be a horse to pay attention to. That was a sub 21 quarter, a sub 44 half.
That horse just ran under 56, man. That's pretty quick. All right, Saratoga race 10.
Yeah, that we're not there yet, but hold on, ran a massive pace. But Tony's asking us in the chat if we can take a look at that. And let me just.
Oh, this is the stakes race. I mean,
I thought that race was wide open.
Tony, I would guess I would be curious why you would want a single here. Because if is it the pace, like being on the lead, sprinting at Saratoga, like what's the?
Well, this horse nearly won a Grade 1.
Yeah, but
even though the SOR is the same.
But the problem these are all 3-year-olds. I mean, this is why Saratoga is amazing. I mean, many of these have raced, they're all lightly raced, but you end up like the 6 is never lost. I don't think we even know how good the 6 is, Tony, would be my comment. Gaff rides for Delgado. I mean, he's 0 for 4, but
let me highlight one thing here for you. This horse is only ran on synthetic and turf and is taking a huge GSR drop.
No, yeah.
To the dirt.
Yeah.
But, so the 5 also, I think, is a really nice horse.
Well, I think, to your point, the 6 should go race on the Tapeta and wherever it finds. I mean, I think it sucks for the 6 because there's probably, he needs to go to Woodbine. That's the only place this horse can really race now. So I think, I mean, it could win though. I mean, this horse could
Yeah.
just be better than all of these. But I think Oldy, like, I mean, in the one may have a little bit of difficulty with the pace, but Tony, I guess it would just oh, Seth's saying the 6, if that was the same one's been scratched a bunch.
Yeah, it does look like there's a lot of gaps there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. I mean, the 5's won 5 races in a row. Faced tough. I mean, won a grade 3.
Yep. And then you have the 4 and the 3, who are the
2 other picks.
yeah, and are going to be coming from further back. I don't love the 3. I think the 3 may need a pace meltdown, just judging off of its racing line where it's not beating 68s most of the time, and maybe that's what happened in this one race. I don't like a 61 GSR typically in a grade 2 race, but I could see the 4 couldn't quite get there here. It's still 65 GSR, and maybe the 4 is just not good enough. So maybe it's just those 3.
Yeah, I know it's a tough race. I mean, in my opinion, Tony, the speed could be the pace could be hop, and maybe the one gets the lead. I mean, maybe that's why you like it, it's just to get the lead. But I mean, if I think the 6 is going to show speed. They were saying in the chat, this horse has been scratched 3 straight times on the Tapeta, so they're whatever reason, but they had to get the horse a race,
Yeah.
right? No, I mean, want to come here on the dirt? Not a great idea, in my opinion, but. The 5's probably going to try to rate Stockney on this horse off speed. I mean, the horse is 21%. I guess I would love to see it be higher, Oldie, in my opinion, but it's been winning at 17 and then didn't win that grade 1. But I don't know. I think this is a tough race, in my opinion.
Yeah. And the 3, not the 3, the 5 has some tactical ability, and it can sit a little bit.
Yeah.
Too. So maybe they make a choice here to not go with the 1 and the 6, or maybe the 1 just gets away. It's not the most illogical conclusion here. It is tied for top SOR. The GSRs on these horses aren't great to begin with. For a grade 2. And they're going in the gate right now at Saratoga.
Well, and then I got to run after this race. It's been good though. I have 1, 2, 3, 7, 9, 10. What do you got?
I just have the 3.
Oh, you singled here.
Yep.
All right. Well, I hope the 3 wins. If the 3 doesn't win, then we want the 7 or the 9 as a price. But 3's a good price. I mean, the rail. This is 11 furlong. They got beautiful that turf course is. Can we play the sound, Ollie?
I don't have that. The way I have the video
Can you hear it now?
wired up. No.
You can't hear it?
Nope.
Okay. I turned mine on, but it didn't work. Okay. Well, 3's way back. 2 gets the lead, Oldie, but they don't look. I mean, they look to be setting a moderate pace.
Yeah, and it looked like IRAD made the choice to take the 3 back there.
Yeah.
24.58 is pretty. 24.5 is pretty decent for this distance.
The 8 wants to go. I mean, look how that horse is keen to go, and he's gonna
We've
just have to go.
we've seen these middle moves in these long turf races recently at
Then they
Saratoga too.
stop. They just stop.
Yeah. I think it was yesterday there was the 5-horse, or no, the 9-horse in the second to last race at Saratoga did that.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I lost the video. What happened? Oh, there we go.
At some point, Irad's got to start kicking it into gear here without
He got a little
getting
bit of
himself
time.
disqualified.
The 10's running good. The 1's done. The 10's gonna be dangerous. The 3's got so much ground to make up, Oldy, but here he comes.
Swinging super wide though.
I don't think he can get there from there. That's too far. Look at the 9 is flying.
Ride your horse though.
Oh, jeez.
Irad's not really riding him. The 1's gonna win. No, the
No!
9. The 1 hung going around the.
That was Oldie. That was crazy how like you and I do have to run because I'm already a few minutes late. But that horse was flying, Oldie. Like he like shot out of a cannon.
Well, but the 1 had the advantage and then hung going past the horse.
Yes. Well, I think because the 9 was coming and the 2 was backing up, I think that the 1 got like watch this. It's actually look at the 9. Watch the 9. Watch this. This is wild. It just like flying. He had to duck inside and then. But I think the 1 maybe just got scared, man. Look, see, he did. Did you see that?
No, we can't see the head on to see if the 2 came out a little bit there too.
Oh, well, it's not going to matter because the 9 going to win.
Right.
All right, brother,
All right,
I got to go. I will see you soon. Everybody, good luck. You going to hang around for a bit?
Yeah, I think I'm going to give it an hour.
Okay.
With the Oldie solo edition here.
All right, man. Thanks, everybody. It was good to see you, Oldie. Thanks for holding it down. Everybody have a good weekend and good luck.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right, bye, brother. Bye, everybody.
So, guys, we have Gulfstream coming up. The last race at Gulfstream, it looks like it has rained since the last time we saw Gulfstream on the air. Looks kind of mushy and sloppy there. So perhaps they made the right choice of having 7 of the 8 races on the synthetic today. But this was a pretty wide open race. I thought. I thought this was 3-6. Let's see, it was 3-6. 3-5-6-8 was what I thought in this leg. I think this race is pretty wide open. Your E long shot money bag horse is your top win percentage and your favorite right now. Sophia Loren, the 8, is pretty interesting here. Is your E top pick, but 0 for 7. You do have a lightly raced option in the 6, who's a 3rd-time starter for Mr. Dye or Stephen Dye. Okay. But I think this race was pretty wide open, and the betting reflects that only the 7 horses over 10-1 here. And at 52 GSR in the slop, let's just see here. Is a 56 in the GSR. In the wet GSR, 52. Let's just see what else we have here. 2-horse who's getting bet. Is a 46, drops 8 points. The 3 you might want to pay attention to because it's by exaggerator. Wet GSR stays the same, but definitely pay attention to the exaggerator on in the slop. The 5 drops 4 points, and the 6 goes up to 56. So the 6 by Keen Ice, the favorite, might be one to look out for as well in terms of wet GSR. So let's see if the exaggerator horse can get it done for us today. I mean, what I'm seeing is that 7 really did not seem to like the wet dirt to begin with. And again, apologize that the chat is not updating on our system, so I'm going to have to pick up my phone to see the chat with you guys. Tony, we did take a look at race 10 at Toga. We were curious why you think the 1 might be a single. Let's see, is this fixed? No, it's not. All right, that was worth a shot. But you know, the 1 maybe just is faster than everybody else there, but we don't really know the level of a horse like the 5 or the 6 there, was our thought. And the 5 does have some tactical ability. Inquiry objection at Saratoga. They're loading in the gate here. Allegedly. Attempting to. Let me get the sound down here for everybody.
Seven furlongs the journey here. Sophia Loren and Jose Morelos will complete the line. They're at the post. And runners away. Down inside, Wildcat Lunita gets the first call, and Sunny Leon's going to put her right on the early lead here. She's a length and a half in front as they run out of the chute. Up to the center, Sophia Loren is now second. Sharp Pippa races between horses. Exaggeradora and Overrun are next, and this favorite, Thank the Academy, she's last of all here. Better than 8 lengths off a loose leader, Wildcat Lunita. Wildcat Lunita trying to relax on the front end. She went 22-4 for the opening quarter. This favorite, Thank the Academy, is way, and I do mean way, out the center while trying to improve from last. She just went by Overrun with less than half a mile to race. Into the far turn they go. Wildcat Lunita has the lead from the back. Thank the Academy with a big, bold move now. She's up into third. Sophia Loren is in second, and they're chasing Wildcat Lunita at the 3 furlong grounds. A gap of 2.5 to Sharp Pippa, then back to Exaggeradora. Tamely backing away is Overrun. 5/16 to go. Does Wildcat Lunita have anything in reserve? If she does, she's the one to beat. From the outside, Thank the Academy is second. Sophia Loren is now third through a 46 4/2 mile. Off the turn and the stretch drive. She's got her ears up. She's got a kick. She's Wildcat Lunita, and she's 1/8 of a mile from home and 3 on top. Thank the Academy, Sophia Loren. They're battling for minor placings as the maiden break score goes to Wildcat Lunita, the daughter of Rainbow Air out of Luna Lunita. Wildcat Lunita down the road. Thank the Academy was second. Sophia Loren ran third. Fourth was Sharp Pippa, then Overrun in 125 4.
5-1 there on Wildcat Lunita. Gate to wire was 20-1 on the morning line, bet down to 5-1. So somebody knew something there for sure that horse word was probably out on. We have the Saratoga late pick 5 coming up. We have Monmouth in 6 minutes coming up as well. And then we can talk maybe a little Jim Dandy tomorrow with everybody, or we can talk the Del Mar mandatory payout pick 6 on Sunday. And also just want to put this idea out there. We're considering maybe doing a stretch run group or show, fantasy football group if people are interested. If you are interested, hit me in the WhatsApp chat or on Twitter and let me know, and we'll start making a list and getting contact information together for that. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. We'll want to start talking some football soon as well, with football season upon us and training camp having started. I don't know if people saw that Joe Burrow was carted off yesterday. Non-contact injury, looked like it might have been an aggravation of an existing quad injury that was wrapped. And it sounds like they were saying he was going to be okay, but already something to be alarmed at in preseason. And we're definitely going to be adding football into the conversation here. We're 4 minutes from Monmouth here. You have the long shot, who is your second win percentage and your top SOR. Let's see, just the one, so that the angle is that the 1 and the 5 have to match something here. So let's see, they do not. So when they do not, so I gave you the good, here's the bad. That same angle, so E long shot, top SOR, in when the, let's see, is this second E no match? Top E no match. Which one didn't match here? It's the, neither of these match. So that is on dirt 8% that the E long shot will win this race when you add in those combos. It looks like Steve J, you know where to find me. Please, we'll start getting a list together. I think we'll probably have to cap it around 20 teams, because otherwise you have to start shrinking rosters to the point that injuries will happen and people won't be able to replace players. And likely going to use Yahoo for that, just because that's the service I'm most comfortable with. All right, so I mentioned the 7. It matches everything else except for it's the long shot. I also said that I would toss this horse based on all those other factors. So let's see here. You have the 1 at 34%, sitting at 12-1. That this seems like a horse to take a shot on. It's I believe it's your second, third, no, your top win percentage, your E second pick, top win percentage and E second pick. Just so you know, let's see if I can get to that before this goes off. Top win E second pick. That is 27% on the dirt. So that's where I think I want to make my stand here at Monmouth. The system's seeing something for that horse to be 34% to win as well. And how often do you get, 12-1 on the top win percentage? The 5 is currently the favorite. Here, this horse looks like it needs the lead to me, though. Paco's aboard. That's probably a big reason why. Um, I think the 1 and the 5 could end up setting something up here with the 7 for somebody else. If this did set up for somebody, oh, that horse stinks. I guess it's the 9 would be the horse I would take the chance out. That's a Jerry Hollendorfer that is on the transfer, so to speak. The 1 did beat 50s last time out. 7's best win is against 54s. The 5's best win is against 44s. So 9 has a similar pace profile but can rate. If this really broke down, maybe the 10 is the play at 12-1. And we should be getting there pretty soon here. So something like a 9, 1, 10 exacta would be interesting here too. And definitely would pay. And again, I apologize, guys. I can't see I have to look on my phone to see your chat. So Tony, I'll say again, uh, we were interested in why you liked the 1, because we thought that there's a lot of speed there. It may be the speed of the speed, but we did see other speed and some class there. 7:10 to close it out. So Tony, I'm about to put my ticket up on the board here. That was what I was going to play. I thought the last 2 races were pretty wide open. I could see it your way and play it. And may do it because I'm just cold right now too. Where I could play it like that too. Does that work for you, Tony? Does that help you get to where you want to be? I thought this last race, was very tough. I thought the 2, who's the long shot, has a chance to steal this on the front end. Even though the GSR is poor, there's such a pace advantage there. And then, looking at this race, there's not a lot of horses that really, again, that are all that well bred. This McPeak horse is not awful either that we didn't use. And that's the up and coming Saratoga race. And we're off at Monmouth. 3 and the 5 up on the lead. The 1 and the 9 are coming charging through right now. Five's not going away. And here comes the 10 as well. And the 1's going to come up the rail. And the 6 is going to sneak by on the outside. 5 fires back. And it's going to come down to 6-5 here. Crazy race. There were some crazy moves. As I said, the 7 did not match the angle and did not end up anywhere in the money either. So we got 12 minutes to Saratoga. I am going to play with Tony's single instead of mine. And that's how I'm going to play this here. So just to recap, if you're interested in fantasy football, hit me up on either the WhatsApp chat, the I guess it's the X is now that it's X, not Twitter, but Twitter. And as well, if I see you in the Facebook chats too, I'm still around there once in a while. You know, that would be another place to express interest. We'll get a draft together and we'll put a point system together that's going to be based on, we have to make some decisions on how many teams and therefore how many players we can allow people to use in order to, have a pretty competitive field. So still some decisions to be made there. We're all there or interested. So if you have any thoughts, please let me know. If you have any thoughts on, rules you like to play and things like that, also let us know. Because we're open to making those decisions. And if you haven't seen, my Cubbies are playing pretty well right now. First time at 500 since May 19th. Might be buyers at the trade deadline. As we move to, we're still 11 minutes from Saratoga here. So let's talk about the Jim Dandy then. The Jim Dandy tomorrow. And again, I will be out tomorrow because we're taking my daughter to see the University of Indiana. So will not be anywhere near horse racing tomorrow. So I wish everybody luck, but I will, as I said, won't be around. So let's look tomorrow, and let me pull up a screen here. We're going to go to tomorrow, Saratoga, with the Jim Dandy. So we talked about this earlier. Justin mentioned, or Chris mentioned, that it's supposed to be wet there tomorrow. So, keep that in mind as well. You have Forte here, who's your top win percentage, your top EE pick. We're not entirely sure of the health situation there, but if healthy, should be a strong favorite. Saudi Crown appears to be your only speed here, and you'll see the 58 GSR, but watch what happens when we go to the wet GSR here for Saudi Crown. 75, so huge jump in wet GSR. So if it's wet, possibly watch out for Saudi Crown. You have Disarm, who's a gun runner in the slop as well. Hit Show, who I know a lot of people liked going into the Derby, flattened out in the Derby, didn't do much in the Belmont either, was a little closer probably to the pace than this horse wants to be for that distance. And you see, too, there's a huge drop off going 12 furlongs. So Hit Show may have just not wanted the 12 furlongs as well. And the shorter 9 furlong distance might be right in Hit Show's wheelhouse. Angel of Empire, another, very highly thought of horse in the Derby. Just missed, ran pretty decently after a really poor break, and then ran similarly to his barn mate in the Belmont. Again, 10-point GSR drop, so may not have wanted the 12 furlongs. Looks like about an 8.5 to 9 furlong horse, maybe 10 is its top distance. So, as I look at this race, the question is, can Saudi Crown get the distance? And if Saudi Crown can get the distance, can anybody catch it? And those are the two questions. Forte is not going to have a huge pace to run into here. With the exception of the Matt Win, you really haven't gotten much out of Disarm in terms of being close to the pace. These other horses don't have much speed. So that might be the other thing to look out for in terms of upsetting Forte, is the lack of other pace here. And, this is a 52-point pace advantage. So it may be something to watch out for here. And again, I won't be around to watch this race, but I'm interested to see how this plays out. And then we have, there's another grade 1 here on the card. See if I can pull that up here. You have the Vanderbilt stakes, not the Gloria Vanderbilt, but the Vanderbilt. You have your Breeders' Cup Sprint Champion Elite Power at 4 to 5, 6 to 5 on the E morning line. You have Gunite, who I know is a horse that people love, just in general. The gun runner of Steve Asmussen fame. And, Gunite's a little bit of has some tactical ability. Hasn't really proven itself beyond grade 2s here in terms of sprinting. Elite Power dominated the True North. This is second off the layoff. You should probably expect a little bit of an improvement. Not Gunite, is that Linda Rice, Jose Ortiz connection. Likely to take some money because of that, but is going to need some improvement. This is a handicap too, so taking a look at the weights as well. As you can imagine, Elite Power's top weight and Gunite is second there. Awesome Aaron appears to be only speed here, but is stopping against 68s and 64s, and now is going up against Gunite and Elite Power. So likely we'll stop here as well. But if we're just laying this out from a metric standpoint, 5, 4, 4, 5, that those two are are your top on the program. Gun Knight's also your top GSR, your top SOR. So at Toga, those two things play pretty well. So if I'm looking at dirt at Saratoga, am I telling you Gun Knight's going to beat Elite Power? That's your question. And what I'm telling you is the data says yes. The data says so top E win, top E pick plus top SOR on dirt is winning 43% of the time. And top E win plus top GSR, which I will find in a second here. Here it is 41%. At Saratoga, that's 47% and 40%. So there's a high, and that's right in line with where the win percentage is at 39%. Elite Power, who's your second E pick, second win percentage. I think that's all it matches. So at Saratoga, second E pick, second win is 16%. So I'm telling you, the data is telling me that Gun Knight should win this race and should upset Elite Power. Thoughts in the chat? We're getting close to post time here at Saratoga. We got 3 minutes left. This is Justin's ticket that's still live if anybody played along. Hold on. And here is my late pick 5 where I am 5, 7, 10 here. Five and 7 are pretty heavy chalk here. What's interesting is the 6 here, who I did not use. And I mentioned this angle earlier to just catch. It looked like something happened there, but I mentioned this angle, so let's see if it actually falls that way. So the 6 is your EE second pick, but it doesn't match any other metrics. That was 0 for 34 today, going in that way. And today, is going to be, so 0 for 34. If it loses here, would be 0 for 35. If I have that measured correctly here. And yes, the 9 did scratch there. Late scratch of the 9. So let's just look through here and see if there were any other E second picks that could have been dropped. Looks like this 9 could have been dropped. Had I been paying attention? The 8 could have been dropped there. This is the 10. I think the 10 might match something else here. Nope. And the 10, all of them. So that gives us 3 more out of the 5 legs here. I believe there's 4 of them where we're going to see if that angle holds. I'm hoping it holds 1 more leg at least here. Looks like we're getting close to the gate. If you were on the 9, you We'll get the post-time favorite, who appears to be the 7 here. And I mentioned I kind of really like this one horse here in the long shot in the second leg. 10-1 morning line. The only thing I don't like is I wonder if it's going to revert to a lesser form now that it's no longer under Linda Rice's control. Goes from Jose to Floran. So, still is getting a good jockey. As we continue to load here. It's like $1 million in the pick 5 pool. 9 just dumped the rider in the post parade at Toga. Yeah, well, dumping the rider in the post parade usually not a great move. It looks like the 8, 1, and 4 should be on the lead. The 1 could be really dangerous. First time turf, or not first time turf, but first time this distance. If the 1 were to get on the lead with that GSR. It's like the 4 won the break of the 8, 1, and 4. And the pace number has this nailed so far. Five is sitting a comfortable 4th. 7 right behind and to the outside. Here comes the 5 up on the 1, 8, and 4. 7 drifted out a little bit. The 8 is battling on. Here comes the 7. It's going to be tight. I believe the 5 will hang on. And, as we've had to these days at Saratoga, we should probably wait and see if there is an inquiry after the last 2 days. Inquiry. I didn't see anything there other than the 1 being all over the place, but history over the last couple of days has showed me, to pay attention to the and wait to see whether there's an inquiry or an objection. I don't see the 5 coming over on the 8 at all from this angle. And Scotty would say, how good is that pace number? You had the 8, 1, and 4, that they're all within 9 points. The 8 and 1 were the top two pace numbers. And who was on the lead? The 8, 1, and 4. All right, we got 5 minutes to Monmouth. We could also take a look at Sacramento if somebody wants to. Got a quarter horse race there coming up. We're about to go to post. Looks like the 4 at 3-2, the 2 at 5-2, both your huge pace number advantage for quarter horse racing. With those two, you have 7 and 12 points over the next highest in a very short field. So probably not a race you want to play. At Monmouth Park. Let's get this updated here. You have a turf race coming out of the chute. The 4 Mega City is 5-1, top pace, top win percentage. The 2 is your top pick and top GSR. So let's look at both of these. Neil Drysdale horse dropping in from 76 SOR, hasn't really raced against this easy since last year at Del Mar. Looks like it beat a 60 group, but these were all, that was back in August of 22. But these were all stakes races, and now is dropping in to an allowance optional claiming conditioned race of non-winners of 3. So probably a deserving favorite in terms of all that. Mega City, the 4, Elizabeth Doblaze. Horse looks like it typically stops. And it looks like it's Darren Rodriguez. Is this off a claim, or is this just first time Darren Rodriguez? Let's see here. So it's off a claim. Interesting, Elizabeth Doblaze finds herself having claimed the 1 horse from Michael Denny for 50K and loses Mega City for 30K. And, Mega City, once was with Maker. Last win came with Maker. So this looks like a pretty spread out race. You also have the 3B here, who probably needs a little bit of a step up in class to win. And the 1 as well hasn't been, it does have a win over 64s on synthetic, but on turf, best win is against 56s. So an interesting race for sure. I'd perhaps be looking at a 2-4-1 or 2-4-5. Let's look here. Let's just maybe use the ticket generator for what it's meant to be used for. This 5's a little interesting too. Is losing 10 points in GSR, but is still a 70 GSR on the turf. Should take to and like the turf at this distance. So that might be the horse, the second E pick to look out for. Also want to point out in that last race at Saratoga, since the E second pick, the 6 horse didn't win. I believe we're now at over 35 for E second picks that don't match any other algorithms at Saratoga. Let's see. Somebody's asking me here. Hey, Oldy, just getting home. See on the early pick 5 at Del Mar. We can take a look at that as soon as the Monmouth race is over, and then we'll close out with one last Saratoga race. If that sounds good to everybody. Let's look here. So again, this Monmouth race, I think pretty wide open. It's 5 horses, only 3%. and I've not checked the turf number, but I do remember Monmouth on the turf that those numbers were not good going into the weekend for an E second pick. So the 5 might be a drop horse as well here. Let's look. Going into last weekend at Monmouth. Monmouth is a separate sheet. Monmouth track profile. On the turf, it was, yeah, that was a 0% play. It did win one last weekend during the Haskell Day. So it's now about a 5% play at Monmouth over the last month. And you're getting, if you're thinking this is just simply a 2-4 exacta, straight 2-4 exacta, you're getting 10-1 on that right now. But we can also throw a trifecta together here. The system is going to likes the 4, but I prefer the 2. The 2 is just 1 for 15. The 4 actually is 4 for 13 and a non-winner of 3, which is interesting. Probably means the 4 is up for a tag. It is. 2 is not and is protected. Maybe something like that for $6 for a try. I added the 5 in the last spot for $7.50. Again, I apologize, guys. The chat, even though it's working on YouTube, I have to look down at my phone every time I want to look at the chat. Hey, Razor, I tweeted you. If Razor, are you still in here? I could come on around 7 o'clock Central Time today. So hopefully you saw that. I can't tell if you're still in here, but I'd be happy to come on. And folks, Razor's doing a show tonight covering Del Mar. I believe he's starting around 5 o'clock. And we'll be running up until the end of Del Mar. And, I've been spending some free time during the week in Razor's chat, and we're kind of doing a little collabing and working together. I don't know that I meant to do that. Let's do it this way. I will see if Razor's still in the chat. And make sure I let him know. And again, if you're interested in joining Razor's show as well tonight, or Chris's class, both are going to be covering Del Mar. Both are going to, it should be a good show. All right, looks like Razor got that. I brought up an extra copy of the screen so that I can maybe see the chat better, since the Streamcast is not working for the chat today. Or Streamlabs is not working for the chat today. It actually hasn't updated the number of people in the show or any of that stuff for me. So, as long as the show is still working and you're still hearing me, which it seems like everybody is, I'm not going to worry about it. And, I apologize that we have not been able to interact as much as we normally would. And they're off at Monmouth with the 8 on the lead. The 2's about to take over. And here comes some horses late. I can't tell who's coming on the outside of the 5, but I think it went to 5 there. I'm such an amazing race caller, don't you guys think? And I believe somebody asked about, could we take a quick look at Del Mar? So Del Mar today. Do we have a budget in the chat? Anybody want to select a budget for me at Del Mar? Well, there's a delay on this thing. So okay, somebody asked a question I see here that I can show you easily. So if I go back to that Monmouth race, okay, $60 there, hold on. If I go back to that Monmouth race, and you wanted to know how can I tell if a horse is in for a tag. So if you click on the horse, you see this box that shows claim 50K that I'm kind of circling around here. And note here, the 2 who I said was not in for a tag, no box there that shows the claim. So that's how I'm able to tell that. And if I went through here, the 3's not, the 1 is. And so is the 8. So that's how I was able to tell that. It's actually pretty, once you know what to look for, pretty easy to find. But again, I didn't know that till I saw Scotty do it. So, all right, so Del Mar, early pick 5 at 6 o'clock Central. So late start for Fridays for Del Mar. So remember that. We're going to do $60. I'm not sure in the racing form. It should be there somewhere, but I don't use the racing form. So I apologize that I can't answer that because I don't even have a copy to be able to show. Maybe somebody in the chat is able to answer that. All right, so early pick 5 at Del Mar. The system wants to single the 5 here, 7 Wonders, E second choice, top win percentage, top GSR. So let's look at this horse. Looks like it's been around this level at 60 SOR-ish for a while, hasn't been winning. Doesn't look like my kind of single. Let's see what else we have here. In for a tag, you got 2 Peter Millers here. 2 Peter Miller first-time starters. Let's see what else we have here. Race there. So what I'm doing first is hunting for what I think could be a single. tough sequence. Let's see about this 4. Almost got there, then went to dirt. Coming back is going to get a big GSR increase. Let's see what else we have here. It's Peter Miller horse. Again, you know, this horse just seems to be bred so much better. You're getting, JJ's getting off the 3. He's 25% there. The other grouping to pay attention to seems to be this 5 horse, who's a second-time starter for D'Amato, but does not seem to have any turf breeding. And let's see about the 7 for Mullins. Also doesn't seem to be a turf horse. This might be where I'd take a stand here. Hold on, I got to force this to use other horses in this leg. So 4, 5. That should be enough to force it to do it. The question is at 11 furlongs, what's the GSR on this horse? 58. You probably want this 3 horse as well. Let's see here. And then you have this 2 horse. Been racing against similar. Has a win against 62s, going 10 furlongs. Been racing shorter. Probably a horse that you need. This 4 horse, I'm thinking might not be. Let's see. So 8 furlongs, dropping. So the E top pick here, who's 16%, so not among the top win percentage, top 2 win percentage, has a low GSR, doesn't seem to want the distance here. 9 furlongs, 10 furlongs, 8.5 furlongs. There's nothing here telling me other than Joe Bravo's riding that this horse is going to want the distance. So I'm going to cut there. I'm going to freeze. Let's see if there's anything here. Let's see. I do not have the enough Delmar data yet to be able to formulate an opinion, but if we're, so the 3, let's look at this 8 for Erden, a second-time starter. Miller. This 4, this Mendez horse looks very interesting as well. And you have a Doug O'Neill second-time starter, which is also very dangerous. This looks like a pretty decent leg to me. And then this first leg, let's look here. Captain Jack Sparrow. All right, so this is on the turf. Both those horses look like they want the lead. Who do we think is better? Well, the Doug O'Neill horse is losing significant GSR, didn't run well last time on the turf. I'd like a horse that's not on the lead with my on the lead horse. And I don't want the low GSR plays either, unless they're, let's look at GSR plus on these 2. And see if they really don't want turf, or 6, 6.5. Where's 5.5? On the 1, low percentage trainer. Steve Knapp. Let's look here. This horse really does not appears to be a turf sprinter, but not to have the same level of genetic talent. So I'm going to get rid of both those guys. I don't like them. I don't like the 3. So let's look at this 9 and the 2. E long shot, first time starter for Doug O'Neill on the turf. Or the second time starter, first time Mendez for Maldonado. Didn't run a lick last time out. 16 point advantage on the GSR is your top GSR. If I could persuade you to go up to 90 for the budget, let's see, that's where I would be. The other horse that I think could farm out as a single, I mean, this 9's an absolute bomber as top pace here, but the 6 is your E top pick and your top win percentage. And those do win at a high frequency. It is Peter Miller. This horse did win at 5.5, can rate a little bit. Is going to be dangerous there. And then you have the 2 who's dropping in. I don't love the 2 here. And as I keep talking, we're still 4 minutes away from the last race we'll hang around for at Saratoga. So we can keep going through this if you guys are interested. Do we still have an interested party here? Because I believe this is the one leg I did not look at that closely yet. The 8's the long shot and the 3rd win percentage. See, does it match anything else, or can I dump the long shot here? There's 1 for 12 lifetime. So I'm going to dump the long shot. Seven beat 52s and didn't run against 54s. What happened there? The 1 is 10%. Beat 50s last time out against 16K, moving up to a 20K level here. Probably not impossible either. Also is a money bag horse. Let's see, what was the other one I was interested in here? The 4, who's the E second pick. 50, 58. Tough sequence though, really tough sequence. You see your favorite, morning line favorite appears to be this 3 horse who is going from synthetic to dirt here. Losing about 2 points in GSR, but looks to me like this horse needs the lead. Let's see. So then for me, if I were to add another horse, it would be one of the Steve Knapp horses, but this probably is where I would end up. I mean, the 7 is 2 of 7 at the distance. The 1's kind of lightly raced, but the 6 is lightly raced. And isn't the many time loser a lot of these horses are. And as I talk myself into it, any thoughts on the 7 horse and leg 1? Well, I was just about to say, as I talk myself into it, I actually prefer. I actually got rid of the 7 horse in leg 1 because of the GSR. Would be my thoughts. But I actually think I like the 6 better as a single. Since I know I already like the 4, this lets me add the 11. The other option would be the 3, who seems to just come up short. At going 6 is losing a little bit GSR, is putting up the apprentice though. But is losing Hernandez, so that this might be a case where you're losing 5 pounds, but but also losing the top jockey as well. This horse has also had Pratt aboard before too. So you could possibly ride with that at $60. That would be the Oldy process for evaluating this and using a combination of the data and the ticket generator to put a ticket together. Again, reminding people, please hit the like on your way out too after this last race at Saratoga. We are, do I still have that ticket up? Of course I do not, but I believe if anybody played Justin single, you're still alive here to the 7 horse. And that is paying So Tony, the reason I singled the 6 there at Del Mar was it's lightly raced, has run well at the distance, and is tactical. And it's Peter Miller. All right, so the 7, this was a $90 ticket. It's going to pay about $177 if the 7 horse wins here. 9 horse, the heavy favorite at 4-5 right now. Thank you everybody for sticking around with me. I'll be on later tonight with Razor around 7 o'clock Central. Just hanging out, talking Del Mar, talking horses, talking sports, whatever. So please, if you're watching Del Mar and looking for a good time, that sounded bad, tune in and listen to my guest appearance with Razor. That was Justin. That was not what we had at Saratoga. Wait, I reset everything. We played 1679 here. Dan, I'll be on Razor's YouTube channel at 7 Central. provided he sends me the link, which I'm sure he has already. And I, as you're doing the show, and I have about 5 screens in front of me right now, I haven't had a chance to look for it. Nine, 1, 5 right now, 1, 5, 9. Three looks like it has some horse. Here comes the 9. Looking like it's going to motor by like a real 4 to 5 horse should. The 1 fights on the rail, but is not good enough. It looks like it's going to be the 9 unless this 4 or the 7 catches some late fire here. Looks like the 9 gets home at 4 to 5. Likely should have been a single. Well, apologize for the chat difficulties today, guys. We're going to talk to Brian and see if we can get that figured out for next week. I appreciate everybody tuning in for the show. Thank you very much. Again, hit the like on the way out. Was a lot of fun. Definitely will be scheduling some more guests alongside Justin and Chris as we go on here, and really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, and I hope you have a good weekend. If I don't see you in the chat of the show for Razor tonight, and again, I'll be out all weekend with my daughter doing a campus visit. Thank you.